by raising the First Division Championship flag just before kick-off. Commentator Jerry McNee.
St Johnstone manager Paul Sturrock is still without injured John O'Neill, Nick Dazovic and Paul Kane, but Saints field a strong side with the manager giving those who gain promotion their big chance. Dundee United are along expected lines with Stephen Presley back in defence after injury. Tommy McLean will be hoping his three Scandinavians reproduce the excellent form of last season. There's Lee Jenkinson, who will relish being back on the big stage. The former Coventry man has a great touch and is a real entertainer. Kjell Olofsson is a player Tommy McLean will be hoping can keep the goals flowing in the months ahead. He hit 13 last season. The referee is John Fleming from Glasgow. So two clubs who have known the despair of relegation and relief and elation of promotion kick off a new season full of hope here at McDermott Park. A big test for St Johnstone. Was lost just the one game in the championship here last season, but up against strong opposition this afternoon. United had a tremendous time under Tommy McLean, perhaps ran out of steam a bit towards the end of the season, but really put together a fantastic run and finished in third place, which has taken them back into European football. And there's a man who's been with them now for more than half a lifetime, Maurice Malpass. He's known the great European nights. He hopes they'll come back again if United can get a decent run going. There he is again. Through now for Stephen Presley. He'll be glad to put his injury worries behind him to take part in this opening game. Certainly United had a good pre-season, as had St Johnstone. United scoring a lot of goals in the European ties. This is Weir for St Johnstone. Griffin it was who played it through, the Northern Ireland international player. Olofsson plays it through, looking for McSwagan. It's a good one and a timely challenge going in there. The referee waves play on. Well, certainly the Dundee United players feel they should have got something out of that. Excellent ball played through by Olofsson, and certainly it was right on the edge of the area, and Callum Davidson rather fortunate to get away with that challenge on Gary McSwagan. It's played shot to Olofsson. Decent ball by him, and well taken by Alan Main. The goalkeeper committed himself and clutched that one well. And once again it was Kjell Olofsson who's made an early mark in this game, getting in the cross. Good handling by the keeper. Well, again, see Dykstra causing a flutter among the Dundee United fans just behind him. So you're never quite sure what this man's going to do. He's a tremendous shot stopper, but thank goodness, just with the manager, Arctic at times. Long kick from Dykstra. The record at this time as they try to pick out Kjell Olofsson. It's United's ball. It's Olofsson, that's a good effort. Well, Alan Main watched that one a bit apprehensively. And again it was Olofsson reacting quickly here. He certainly had a good start to this game. And the goalkeeper just watching it carefully. From Malpass, straight into the path of Steve Tosh though. This is O'Boyle. Good switch of play by him to Lee Jenkinson. Sakalioglu. Well, again, Sakalioglu gives away the free kick. He was the culprit against Olofsson just a few moments ago. He swings it in again. It's Olofsson challenging. Applause for Maurice Malpass, the Dundee United fans, just behind Steve Dykstra's goal. This is Presley. trouble there. Slid off by Ferguson for St Johnstone. Flipped through by Davidson. This is Winters. McSwagan off the post and the rebound, and Olofsson opens the scoring with 11 minutes gone here. Well, if there was one player in the field you would expect to score, it was Olofsson. What a start he's made to this match. That was good play by United. The fans are delighted. Delightful touchdown there. The ball come off the post, and then the header into the back of the net. St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 1. This is Weir. Ferguson gets a touch on, while scrapping away there with Malpass and with Perry. And the ball goes harmlessly behind in the end for a goal kick. And Ferguson involved there also. It's all a bit scrappy, untidy. Really got going yet since. A poor one again by O'Boyle as he tried to pick out Jenkinson, the ball falling behind him, but still Saints have possession. Through by Jenkinson. Nice little switch by Philip Scott. This is better play now. But, in the end it was an easy one for Steve Dykstra from Steve Tosh. Well, to create the opening there, but no real power in the effort to worry Steve Dykstra. One from McKimmie. This is McSwagan. Bowman runs in support. Well, he was a bit late sending that one through. That allowed the clearance. Good run there by Dave Bowman, good supporting run. McSwagan just a bit slow with the pass. Again, it's aimed in towards Presley. Headed away by McQuillan. Olofsson again, and well taken by Alan Min. This is Jenkinson. Play by him. Once again, disappointing by Saints, particularly Philip Scott there, and Ian Ferguson. And that allowed Lars Zetterlund to go through and have a pot at goal. St Johnstone really will have to get their act together here. They had possession. They gave it away, and just look at the space that Zetterlund had to get through there and get in the effort. Ferguson, O'Boyle. Kellyoglu probably gives it away to McKimmie. It's not a very good one by him either. Here comes Philip Scott. McQuillan. Tosh is in support, he provides the cross, and the goalkeeper handles it comfortably and sets up an attack now for Dundee United. Winter steps away from Kellyoglu. It's through now for Gary McSwagan. He needs a bit of help here. Well, Presley has come well forward. Lays it off now for Bowman. Cross for McKimmie. United with plenty of players forward here. It's played into the feet of Shell Olofsson. Not a bad effort going in from Stuart McKimmie. Teed up there by Olofsson. And not a bad effort by the defender. This is O'Boyle meanwhile for St Johnstone, laying it off there to Scott. This is Tosh. Dykstra had to readjust there. That's O'Boyle. Ferguson's in the middle. Oh well, a misunderstanding there between Presley and Dykstra, but they get away with it. The ball has run harmlessly behind for the goal kick. But Tommy McLean will not be impressed by this. So Boyle's cross come in, and Presley and Dykstra just left looking at one another. Good climb by Olofsson, timed it well. This is McSwagan. Malpass, Winters. Presley for United. Eric Pedersen. Winters, caught there by Sekelioglu. Free kick. About 30 yards from goal. Pedersen sends it in. Paul Sturrock will be glad to get his men back to the dressing room now. But of talking to them, they certainly haven't been overwhelmed by United in this first half, but United have looked comfortable, they've looked experienced, and they've carried the major threat. So we're now in stoppage time, and Jenkinson weaves something here. Davidson sends in the high one, an awkward one for Presley, who gets the touch. So Kellyoglu's there for Saints. And the half-time whistle sounds. Well, a good first half for Dundee United. Looked comfortable, and Shell Olofsson, a good first half. He looked dangerous right from the very start, and he got his reward after 11 minutes. A nice knockdown to him. His first effort came back off the right-hand post of Alan Main, and then he followed up with the header. The half-time score here at McDermott Park is St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 1. It's Saints who start the second half. They're unbeaten in the last 15 matches here at McDermott Park, but they know they have it all to do in this second half. They knew it was going to be tough, and certainly United controlled things in the first 45 minutes, and in fact might have added to their lead. There was certainly a controversial moment early on when they might have had a penalty. But no doubt when Shell Olofsson put them ahead after 11 minutes and on to control the game. It'll be interesting now to see what St Johnstone can offer in this second half. The ground shows no changes in either lineup. St Johnstone have Preston Grant and Halloran on the bench. United have McLaren, Dolan and Walker, Paul Walker along the winger. Jenkinson back helping in defence. This is Sekelioglu. O'Boyle. Here comes Zetterland. It's Bowman. Olofsson. McSwagan had started a good run through the middle, but a good challenge going in there. Meanwhile, it's Perry for United. Malpass. Presley. Pedersen sends it in. It's headed away by Weir. The scramble going on for possession. This is O'Boyle. Sekelioglu. And the free kick is awarded. Well, St Johnstone feel that there might have been a bit of advantage given there. And the referee is calling back the United skipper Dave Bowman to have a word with him. Certainly Saints felt the referee, who in the first half, in fairness to him, allowed advantage as much as possible, that he should have allowed it there. But he wanted a word with the offender. Played through by Weir. McQuillan. Touch from Perry. Winters. Zetterlund. Now it's Presley. Eric Pedersen. Well, Dave Bowman's passing has certainly let him down in this match. Here he is again. So St Johnstone now making a change, and Roddy Grant is the man coming on. Ian Ferguson is leaving the field. Well, certainly Saints will be hoping that Roddy Grant can come to the rescue here. He was top scorer last season with 24 league goals. But it's United pushing forward. Again, it's Winters going through. Olofsson's challenging as well. And he forces a corner kick. They put pressure there on McQuillan, who appeals, but really he's got no case. He got it absolutely right. Corner kick. A chance for United now to increase their lead. Mark Perry moves forward. Presley's up on the edge of the area as well. Olofsson swings it away into the back post, and that certainly had the keeper under pressure. Punched away by Alan Main. And he's certainly letting his defenders know a thing or two. Kjell Olofsson swinging in to the far post, and the keeper at full stretch, slowing it away. St Johnstone have made a change, but these are anxious moments for them. They can't afford to lose another one here. Presley's still well up there, causing problems. This is Perry. It's a Kelly Oglu, but he hits the ball high into there, still inside the penalty area. Swagan. Some respite now for St Johnstone, and Callum Davidson does the correct thing. He lets them all run out of play. Just calms things down. Roddy Grant was certainly successful in the First Division last season. Let's see what he can do this time around. From Sekerli Oglu, but we haven't seen much of him in this match at all. McKinney intercepts for United. Now it's Presley. Winters twisting and turning, but caught there by Philip Scott. This is O'Boyle. Switch of play now for Steve Tosh. McQuillan runs in support. O'Boyle taking on Perry. Just kept in play by McSwigan. Pushing forward, it's laid off by Winters. Pedersen brings out to McKinney. Olofsson. Zetterlund. They certainly get a bit of power into that one. And Alan Main was right on the spot to knock it down, take it at the second attempt. This is Tosh. Griffin. Running the ball there against against Perry. Here's Presley. Pedersen trying to bring the pace of Winters into the game, and he certainly causes enough of a problem to win the corner kick. Such a lively player, pacey player. So another corner to Dundee United. Just look how far out Alan Main had come. Callum Davidson under pressure there as well. But, Robbie Winters causing problems. Another chance now for United. Perry has moved right onto the goal line. Presley's up there as well. Keeper stays in his line. Good clearance there by Grant from Zetterlund. Again, the goalkeeper's under pressure here. He manages to snatch it. Certainly enjoying himself out there, but as the high ball come in, then Zetterlund was there, and it was Roddy Grant who got it clear, back helping in defence. So Zetterlund with a couple of efforts at goal in the second half. Here he is again in possession. Winters got the break of things there. It's led off by Olofsson, picked up now by Sekeli O'Boyle. Played through by Jenkinson. And again, there's no one there to pressure the United defence. And the United continue to control this match. They still lead by 1-0. Meanwhile, the offside flag is up on the far side. Towards Grant, and he gets the free kick. Stephen Presley then they're making the challenge. Pedersen took a knock in those exchanges. An opportunity now for the home side. Put very little pressure on Sieb Dijkstra so far. Weir's up there, lending his height to things. Sekeli Oglu's there! It looks like an OG, but Sekeli Oglu's certainly got the first touch on it. And St Johnstone are back in this match after 61 minutes. Sekeli Oglu certainly got the first touch on the ball. It looked as though it was an own goal in the end. The keeper came for it instead. Sekeli Oglu was there. So Presley and McKimmie were back there trying to clear. It certainly looked as if it come off one of them. Jenkinson swept it in. The goalkeeper hesitated here. Sekeli Oglu was there, and it came off McKimmie. And Stuart McKimmie there, the unfortunate one. They're challenging again. This is Tosh. Well, certainly Saints have got a lift from that. No real power in the effort though to bother the goalkeeper, but it was an opportunity nonetheless. The effort going in from Stephen Tosh. This is Olofsson. Kimmy's in space on the left-hand side. Olofsson decides to go in alone. On too much, and there's McKimmie now, who was in good position for a pass there. It's Olofsson again with the early cross, and that one almost caught Alan Main. So again it was the early cross swept in by Kjell Olofsson. That's been a feature of his play this afternoon, and the ball dropped just over the top. This is Grant. Jenkinson. Oh, a slip there and the chance on for Philip Scott. What an opportunity there. Jenkinson playing the ball in, and a rare slip by Maurice Malpass. The chance was on there for Philip Scott. things stay the same, it will mean 5 of the last 7 Premier Division games here between these clubs ending in a 1-1 draw. The whistle sounds, in fact, that's how it's finished. A good result for the new boys, St Johnstone. Paul Sturrock there, shaking hands with Gordon Wallace, assistant at Tannadice. Two men who worked together for so many years. Warm handshakes all round. Sakir Lioglu there, who got a booking in the second half, perhaps lucky to stay on, but made his contribution in the second half. Got the equaliser. It was Jenkinson after 61 minutes who swung the ball in from the left-hand side. Sakir Lioglu got a touch on it. It came off McKimmie after Dykstra hesitated. And the final score here at McDermott Park is St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 1.
First half I thought we played very well. Looked threatening, thoroughly deserved the goal. Second half showed certain players still have a lacky appetite. It's as if it's still pre-season friendlies. I thought that 1 or 2 players showed an attitude as if 1 was enough instead of pushing for 2 and 3, waiting things to happen rather than making things as they did in the first half.
You were watched today by your opponents in the UEFA Cup in the next round. They'll maybe get a wrong impression of Dundee United.
Well, they'll get a lift looking at the second half without any shadow of a doubt. Playing like that will not last long in the UEFA Cup. So we've got to get the thing better than we're doing.
Obviously, I think we give Dundee United a wee bit of too much respect the first period of the game early on, and they punished us and got a good goal. It was well worked. But I think we came out in the second half and towards the end of the first half and got into the game and got the goal that I thought we deserved. And I think a point was a fair result in the end.
Yes, and as we heard there, among the crowd at Tannadice was the manager of Turkey's side Trabzonspor, who meet Dundee United in the next round of the UEFA Cup. So does he think his team can beat United?
Trabzonspor is one of the most experienced Turkish clubs in Europe. We've been playing for the European Cups over the last 22 years. So there is no threat for us. But this is football, everything happens. But I wouldn't make my comment using this game because this is the only one game, and then it was the first game of the season. I believe each game is going to bring different situation.
Yeah, and remember, the first leg is played in Turkey a week on Tuesday. OK, we'll be looking at the key moments from that match at McDermott Park and hear the thoughts of Paul Sturrock and Charlie Nicholas after this short break. And the manager of St Johnstone's with us, Paul Sturrock. Paul, Jerry described it at the end there, a good result for Saints. Would you go with that? Were you quite happy?
Well, in the end, I think I would take the draw. A wee bit disappointed with our first half performance, but pleasing that we got back into the game in the second half.
What did you think, Charlie? You were there. Saints
I would
worth
have to
a
agree.
point.
Dundee United were excellent first half, although they never really gave much penetration. Wasn't a lot for Alan Mennon goals to do, and I think Paul would be quite happy with his back lot. But once they started believing a little bit more in the second half, once they got the goal jam, they had half chance, Philip Scott, after that to maybe get a winner. But they certainly deserved at least a point from it.
Olafsson is a good player, as we now know. He settled well in the Scottish game, Paul, and he put United ahead. Now, you'd be disappointed here at this, looking at it again, I'm sure.
Well, obviously, the boy Davidson's let somebody up the inside of him, and then there's been bad marking in the middle, but he can't take it away from the player. He's finished very, very well.
He's done ever so well, Charlie, hasn't he?
Well, he's not really caught it as clean as he would like, but you've got to be alert and get a lucky break, and he gets it, and thanks very much, he's popped it in the net. But I was surprised. I mean, maybe Paul isn't happy with Davidson there, but it's a difficult one for him. Griffin was trying to cover also, but ended up a good goal for Olafsson. He was our most productive player in the first half.
At that stage, Paul, you had a number of players, first day nerves maybe showing.
Well, I think you've got to look at the team and the selection. We had 6 players who haven't tasted the Premier League. There's definitely an apprehension in them, as you could see in their first half performance. But I had a wee chat with them at half time, and I was pleased the way they stuck to their task in the second half. And
in that second half, of course, you got the equaliser, Jenkinson with the free kick. And he's so good in situations like this. Now, do you work at this? Is this something you work at? He takes the free kicks, and obviously you hope you get a result like this.
Well, he takes most set pieces, and that was definitely worked. Tiller going round the back late. And we were delighted to take the goal at that time. It settled us, and in the end, we had a couple of half chances late on.
At that stage, Charlie, Saints well worth getting right back in that
Paul
match.
tells us this is a training ground exercise, so you always try and work it off the forward, and Olafsson's been caught. But it's a great cross from Jenkinson, good pace, good area, and that's what gives you chances, and they've took it.
And Charlie, United had a penalty claim, Davison on McSwigan.
Yeah.
We'll get Paul's view in a minute, but what did you think of it first off?
No, well, when I first seen it, I thought it was a good bit of pace as usual, but I thought Davidson had every right to go for the ball. The two of them miss it in the end, and McSwigan might be thinking, I get caught, this is a good angle. You see, it's there to be won.
Yeah.
He's missed it first. McSwegan isn't getting it, so for me, it's definitely not a pen.
And Paul, you're bound to go with that.
Well, if I was Tommy, I'd have been scheming for a penalty myself. I'll just leave it at that.
What about this man Jenkinson? Now, Saints got him from Coventry. He is a good player because there are so few of them. He puts his foot in the ball and he slows things down, doesn't he, Paul?
Well, we chatted earlier about that. There's too few in the league in the so-called minnows that have this type of player. I'll get a wee bit of stick for praising him, but he slows things down. He brings the other players into the game, and he's very, very important and influential to us.
He's got a lovely left foot, and he's got this style. You know, he looks quite happy to me, but you know, he's got good vision. You see it, look, he's just stroked into areas rather than players trying to force it. And this is a good example. There's good pace, and it's in a good area, as I mentioned, but it looks effortless for him at times, and that's a sign of a very good player.
He's going to be important to you, I think, this season, Paul.
Well, he's you know, the amount of goals we've scored off his crosses and corners and free kicks last season was influential to us going up, and I don't see it any differently this year.
Obviously, again, first day, so we shouldn't be too critical, but at times it looked as if you gave certain United players too much time in the ball, and it was shooting practice at one stage for them, as we saw.
Well, I think the important thing this year, last year, I think we stuck to our own game plan and never really thought about stopping other teams, and it's something we've tried to add in the pre-season friendlies, and we're still struggling. As you can see, we give so many people the opportunities to shoot from distance, and it is worrying. But in the second half, we actually come to grips with it a wee bit better and cut down the avenues for them to have shots.
And you're rightly, some would say, Paul, sticking with the players who gained you promotion. How long will you do that, or will you attempt to add to your squad?
Well, I think I've taken a wee bit of criticism that I haven't brought fresh faces in, but I do believe that the players merit the chance. And in the end, also, it's nice. Maybe there is a couple of areas I'd like to strengthen, but I'm going to have a wee look, find out which ones can handle the Premier first. There was a couple yesterday didn't handle it too well, and really in the end I would hate to spend all my money in two positions and found out I was struggling in another couple of areas.
Exactly. Is it all about survival, or are you going to give it a real go, obviously? We're
going to give it a go and hopefully finish up as far up the league as possible. Yesterday I'm hoping the second half will give them a wee bit more confidence, and that's really what we're aiming on, is survival.
Okay.